wait, stop. He sells on the Pacers that he's talked hype about all season, and then buys the 76ers that we have trashed all season.
They got the generation of chatter on Twitter everywhere, and I'm pissed I'm giving it to them, but damn it needs to be talked about.
Starting to become big-time free agents, granted, but in their childhoods, in the early 2000s, were the Knicks ever good? No. Hello, everyone. Dribbling around episode 13, playoff basketball. Finally, guys. Jaden Becker, Connor Glunt. I'm Dane Richardson. You know, a lot of teams, playoff basketball, we're going to get into that later. Another great interview coming up. Ithaca College guard George Sikoryak. He was a great guest on the show. You're going to want to tune into that. But a team that was in the bubble and didn't get into the playoffs, the New Orleans Pelicans, recently firing Alvin Gentry. I guess you could say a surprise move to some, not really. After 5 years as the Pelicans head coach, certainly some candidates moving forward, a young roster, a team that you would be intrigued by if you were a coach maybe wanting to take over the Pelicans. But, Connor, who do you think is the best fit for New Orleans head coach moving forward?
I have to lean with Ty Lue or maybe Brooklyn's interim head coach because I know those were two of the named candidates. But I got to be honest, I wasn't expecting this kind of move, even though New Orleans was arguably the biggest disappointment in the bubble. But hats off to them because this right now is the perfect time to kind of get your new coach. You don't want to wait 2-3 years into this Zion, into this like Lakers new core, into that kind of stage for your franchise and then realize, Gentry wasn't really the guy. We probably should have been looking earlier. So this really was the perfect time to do it. Granted, Alvin Gentry, great offensive-minded coach, not so much defense. And to play and win playoff basketball, you got to be good on both ends of the court. So I think Ty Lue would do well just because it's a really young core. Like there's very few veterans that are going to really overpower him. Maybe JJ Redick, maybe Derek Favors, but this is going to be his team to control or whoever steps up or whoever gets hired for the head coach.
Yeah, and as you say, it's a perfect time now than more than ever to find a new head coach, especially for this team. You know, you don't go where you want to go in this playoff run. And, you know, and I am a little surprised that they cut the leash on him so fast, you know, and especially with in a weird year as this one is, you know, how are you going to do that now? You know, at least give him a full season in regular circumstances at the least. But no, they cut the leash. So now you're going to have to go on this full search. And I say take your time. You know, you do have a very young core right now, but especially going through this process now, you really want to find this right guy, and you don't want to be switching every 2-3 years with a new head coach, wasting Zion. You want to find the right guy now. So if you're going to be patient, now is the time.
Someone tell me why the new head coach of the Pelicans should not be Mark Jackson. Okay.
Exactly. It could work.
Hear me out on this. Mark Jackson, I get he had some problems with the Warriors, but Steve Kerr, great coach. I'm not saying anything bad about Steve Kerr, but he inherited pretty much an already ready to go, playoff ready Warriors group, and in his first year won the title. And obviously he did a great job coaching that team. Luke Walton is his assistant. I'm not taking anything away from that. But Mark Jackson should be given the majority of the credit for developing, and I'm not saying I could be forgetting other coaches' player development, but he was the coach who developed that young core in Golden State with Steph, Clay, and Draymond. And Harrison Barnes, so was a big part of their first championship. Andre Iguodala. So if you saw him do that with Golden State, this is a great situation to put him in with New Orleans. Now, some people are saying Jason Kidd, that could help Lonzo Ball. That's also a good option. He's an assistant coach for the Lakers right now. But you have a great young core. Brandon Ingram was an all-star this year. Lonzo Ball, Zion Williamson. He seems like the perfect fit to me. Yeah, I mean, some people are going to miss him, of course, with Mike Breen and Jeff Van Gundy announcing games on ESPN. Oh, you won't. But I'm not saying I will either. But for me, it just seems like the right fit. And he hasn't gotten another opportunity since he left after the 2013-14 season from Golden State. Why not give him this opportunity? I just seemed like it makes too much sense for me.
Yeah, I will say that there's like enough players that are kind of comparable from that Warriors team to this Pelicans team. Obviously, kind of the build and like the all the athletics. Draymond and Zion are somewhat just because their size and how they play positionless basketball. And then obviously maybe Lonzo can help become more grow into a better shooter. Maybe Ingram can keep elevating his game. I just got to add this, like I think the main reason why I was so surprised by Alvin Gentry's firing was because once Zion came back during the regular season, this Pelicans team was good. And then like I feel like it's almost unfair to judge Gentry off of the regular season and this bubble because no one's coming into this bubble fresh. Like it's such a long layoff. Yeah. It was really unexpected of what we were going to get. Hell, the Bucks went 3-5 in their 8 games. Granted, they were resting starters, but they didn't look like everything was clicking whenever they were playing their key guys. So I feel like it was almost a little bit unfair, but at the same time, if you're going to make a bold move in this kind of tenor of this new era of Pelicans basketball, now's the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think it's going to need to be a drastic move. You don't need to be like a big surprise, anything like that. You just need to find a solid head coach, someone that that can take these young kids that, in the relative age of the NBA is a very young team and take them to the moon, and it's going to be really tough, but you just need to be patient here. Now is not the time to rush going into this process. So let's find the guy right away. Take as long as you really need up until the season starts to get the right guy.
Yeah. And I think New Orleans, they have a nice path going forward, and give credit. Obviously we talked about poor Phoenix 8-0 in the bubble. Didn't make the playoffs. Feel bad for them. Great run. But if Phoenix performed like New Orleans did, are we talking about Monty Williams going out the door for Phoenix? I'm not saying – obviously the general management is different in each franchise, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't – like, in this circumstance, everyone was expecting – and I think one of the reasons why it didn't help Gentry – where there were high expectations, especially with the Pelicans' easy schedule, that they might sneak in. And then it was kind of a giant – they were like arguably one of, if not the biggest disappointment of the NBA bubble. So I think that helped contributed to the fire. On a different note, Alvin Gentry, wherever he goes next, I assume he'll still be coaching, will be a fantastic assistant coach wherever he goes.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
That will be a great pickup for a team. 100%. I don't know who it'll be, but a great pickup.
Anywhere but the Knicks, honestly. So Dan, your vote was for Mark Jackson. I was kind of between Ty Lue and Jack Vaughn. I think I'm leaning Jack Vaughn just because of like how you see the Nets fighting.
Do the Nets keep him though? Do the Nets keep him?
It's like, do KD and Kyrie want him though? That's the thing. Like, because there's a big difference. Like all the like if you can coach like a team of like not so good, like not star players, and that's not a knock on this Nets roster because they're competing really well. But if you can like roster of just all these grinders, all these hustlers, that doesn't necessarily translate to star power. I mean, just look at what Billy Donovan did, like with Russell and Paul George. Like everyone in OKC, myself, was clamoring like, hey, he should not be coaching this team. And the next thing you know, there's a complete roster upheaval and he wins coach of the year. So, I mean, I think Jack Vaughn, maybe he's not the best coach for the Brooklyn Nets, but that's not a knock on him. It's just maybe he could do better in New Orleans.
I don't think KD and Kyrie should like single-handedly, and they might.
They single-handedly determined who was signed in the offseason.
I know,
this is their team now.
As the Nets organization, I don't think they should single-handedly, hey, just pick who the coach is. I don't think it's – and Jaden, you're going to like this take. I don't think it's just KD because KD – he came into a team already with Steve Kerr, and I think he'd do fine under Jack Vaughn because they have those role players. They have guys that can play, and they'd still be good, still be great. But, I mean – I get there was a coaching carousel in Cleveland with LeBron. There was Blatt, Ty Lue. I get that. But Kyrie had a problem with, like, the Celtics and Brad Stevens. Like, I mean, I guess, like, oh, let Kyrie pick his coach who doesn't have problems. Like, I don't know. He's doing a good job with the team, and then all of a sudden, I feel like it'd be unfair to him to not have the opportunity to go coach a championship team just because their two-star players don't want him. That's I don't like that. You know what I mean?
Well, KD and Kyrie are already assistant GMs. It's like it's all but written on their contracts. But no, I think Vaughn would do great in New Orleans, and I know I just mentioned him as a potential candidate, but I think Ty Lue would do great in Brooklyn. Like he already coached Kyrie to a championship. he's managed those egos before and has led them to a championship against arguably the greatest regular season team of all time.
I wouldn't call him Coach Ty Lue. I'd be like figurehead Ty Lue. To speak
Yeah,
in front
I
of the
mean,
media,
that's
Ty
kind of
Lue.
like,
It's not,
especially
you
with
know,
that locker room,
that's
it's
how
not
it
really a
was with-
coach. It's just like you got to manage those egos. You got to give
Yes.
leash, but like you also can't like let them take over the team. You have to put your foot down sometimes at least. And I thought Lue did a good job with LeBron and Kyrie. But Jaden, who do you think would be a good fit for New Orleans?
I think you need a young guy put in there with the rest of the young guys. Coach Longstaff, I'm going for him. I think he's going to be a perfect fit for the Pelicans. I think you can shove him right in there and then take him to the moon. One of the greatest G League coaches of all time. And now you're going to put him in there right now.
Bucks?
That would be
The
fun.
Bucks-
That would be fun for us.
The Bucks do have a great staff. And maybe one of their assistant coaches will be hired as a head coach. I wouldn't be surprised if one or two of them got an interview or two with the team. But I don't know.
That would be fun for us. But in all seriousness, I think Jason Kidd actually would be a fun piece to put in there. Maybe it wouldn't be the perfect exact fit. You know, he's had his struggles before as a head coach, but you know, that was with a really tough Nets team. So now let's see what he can do without a really young core that he can mold himself. So I think that would be a nice one.
All right. Well, you heard it here first. If Josh Longstaff ends up being the next New Orleans head coach, make sure to credit dribbling around Jaden Becker, not Woj, not Shams, but dribbling around in 1306 Sports. Dane, did you have one last point before we go into the
I don't
interview?
think Jason Kidd's going to the Nets because he already got fired by the Nets back in
No, I meant for
New Orleans.
New Orleans.
New Orleans. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
It's
did
too
you
much,
say New
it's
Orleans?
too
or
much
Brooklyn?
Nets talk already this early into
Yeah,
the
I'm
show.
done with.
Okay. Connor, move on.
Yeah. So I'll move on. We had a great interview with Ithaca guard George Sikoryak. Lots of topics, lots of bubble talk, Ithaca basketball talk. It was a great interview. I think you're going to like it. He told some stories. So without further ado, let's jump right into the interview.
Welcome back to yet another Dribbling Around interview. A trio now of Ithaca men's basketball players joining the show. Rising junior guard George Sikoryak. George, thanks for joining the show.
Thank you for having me.
And listen, we've heard some things. We heard you got a new jumper. I heard you switch back to that right hand. The teammates say it looks a lot smoother. Are the reports true? Is it a new shot?
That is true, yeah. So, I'm sure they might have told you, but so obviously was shooting lefty.
Mm-hmm.
But so I shot righty until third grade. But in third grade, I kind of hurt my wrist.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, being the young kid I was, I like switched and I decided to just start shooting lefty. Kind of weird, but so I just started shooting lefty. And then, shot lefty through high school. And then my first 2 years was a lefty. But it's funny. So what made me go back to the righty shot was during it was winter break. And we were doing like a shooting contest kind of like after practice. And people, they made the rules. They said, all right, shoot with your offhand. So like everyone was like shooting with their opposite hand. So I shot with my right. And everyone's like, wait, that's your right hand? Like, yeah. And they were like, that looks way too good of like an offhand jump shot to like not be your normal shot. So, and then like my coach was like, Coach Burton, he was like, do that again. So I shot a few and then he was like, we're changing you to a righty. So I was like, little do you know, I used to be one like shooting righty. But yeah. So, and then after the season, I put the mind to it that I wanted to change. So yeah, switched to the right and it's feeling good, just getting a lot of reps up, playing with it. It's nice.
Now, was the adjustment easy or hard? Like, how long did it take for you to actually feel that rhythm again?
Honestly, I thought it was going to be a lot harder. It was pretty easy, like the main thing I was like, oh, am I going to like not know the footwork? Am I going to want to shoot lefty at times? But like once I started to really get consistent reps up, I mean, it felt natural. Honestly, like I'd say like a week after it just started to feel natural.
Really?
Like
Wow.
It seems like that may seem like it was too soon, but it really just because I mean I've been a right-handed dominant. Like I write right-handed. Like I always take my floaters righty, like stuff like that. So like it just I don't know. It was kind of weird. Like the form is like it's so much more just like straighter, and it was like it just feels so much more natural now. So, but yeah, it wasn't too hard of an adjustment.
Now, did you get rid of that lefty entirely, or like you kind of trying to stay ambidextrous, maybe keep the scouting report a little confusing for the other teams?
Yeah, that's funny. People have been saying like, oh, you're gonna switch. I mean, right now I'm kind of just like right hand dominant. That's how I like shooting wise. But like I still like use the left obviously for finishing floaters and stuff. Like I still can shoot left-handed, like, but it's just the right hand is what I'm trying to stick with and keep. It feels the most natural and fluid.
George, we heard of the switch from your teammates, Skylar, Liam. They both mentioned it to us. We saw on your social media you've been getting some runs with them over the summer, playing some basketball with them. So what's it been like over the summer playing with some of your teammates?
Yeah, I mean, so around here, obviously, when quarantine hit, it was hard. Obviously, all the courts were closed. Like, they took the rims down here. But we've been going up to Ithaca back and forth. And when we go up, we reach out to each other, like, hey, you guys want to play, blah, blah, blah. And we've been going to there's a court at Ithaca High School. So we'll go early in the morning, and it's nice, the guys, we all compete. Usually we do 3-on-3. We'll warm up with some king of the court games,
Yeah.
We like to limit dribbles, just get a little competitive juices flowing. But yeah, we'll do that, and then we'll play some 3-on-3 until we're gassed. We don't really set a limit on when we play. We just play till we're tired, and then whoever's still feeling it, we might play a little more king of the court after.
Who wins king of the court?
It varies, it varies. It's always changing. Sky's had his good fair share. Liam's had his fair share. I've had mine. We've all had ours. It's all gone around, but it's they get competitive, that's for sure. We definitely get competitive.
Trash talking a lot?
Definitely. You got to let them know when you score a bucket on them, You got to let them know.
Of course.
Now, speaking of the team, has there been any discussions about how next season is going to operate, especially in once we start to get back to campus?
Yeah, so we're not 100% sure right now. We were supposed to have a winter sports athletes meeting tonight, but it got changed to next week because I think they're meeting with health officials from Tompkins County. But right now, obviously the Liberty League said no fall sports throughout until at least January 1st. So the talk right now is of a league only play kind of. And then I think that would be about 18 games. And then, So that'd be 7 less than the normal schedule.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'd play the 18 games and then the Liberty League tournament and then the NCAA tournament. But right now, no one really knows. Everything's kind of up in the air, but that's kind of what they plan on. But next week we'll have a lot more information when they tell us.
We do hope we get to see you play. And seeing you play last year, it was Jaden, Connor, and I. It was our first year on campus, and when we saw you play, one thing that stood out to us was your speed. You're a fast guy. So who on the team, if anybody, could beat you baseline to baseline in a foot race? Could anybody do that?
I don't think so. It'd definitely be close, but I think baseline to baseline, I think I would take that one.
Who would come close?
Seabass, he talks a lot of trash. He says that he says he'll beat me. I don't know. He says he'll beat me, but Lucas is really fast. Lucas is fast. Skylar's fast. Tommy Carver's fast. There's a lot of fast guys, but Zach work too. It's just a lot of the guards, especially. We're all pretty fast. So, but yeah, baseline to baseline, I'd like to say that I'll take that one.
Confidence. I like it.
Yeah, he exudes confidence. He thinks he can do. I respect it though. We've seen it.
I did track in high school. I gotta run up to it.
Okay, all right.
That's fair. So I gotta be able to back it a little.
Hey, we know that you went to high school with incoming transfer Luka Radovic, and can you tell us a little bit about him? What's his game like? How is he going to fit into the team now with these seniors gone and now a lot of freshmen coming in? How do you think he's going to be able to fit in?
Yeah. So Luka's been my best friend since preschool. He literally lived right down the road. I would hop a fence and when I'd be at his house, right like that. He was my first friend in preschool. And since then, he's just been, we'd always hang out. But, Luka's a great player, and especially in high school. So I went to a different high school originally, but then I transferred after 2 years. So, I got to play with Luka again, which was nice, and my buddies from home. But, he could do it all. He's a great shooter. Especially our team, we love to shoot threes. So that's where he'll fit in perfectly. We love to shoot threes. But he's also a big body down low. He gets rebounds. He can defend the post. And so he was at Fordham for 2 years. And he's been practicing around those guys, quick, fast, bigger guys. So he's recently, me and him been working out, and he's really gotten a lot quicker, a lot stronger, and he's starting to move a lot faster, which is nice.
Did you play any role, or it kind of feels like an easy question because it's obvious, but what part of a role did you play in kind of recruiting him over to Ithaca?
Yeah, we kind of he's been my best friend, so we would always talk about school and stuff, and then he just kind of was talking to me about his school. I guess he wasn't I don't know. He kind of just wanted to change the scenery, And like I was like talking to him, and obviously like because of like rules, like our coach can't speak to Coach Burke couldn't speak to him, Coach Mullins couldn't. But other than that, I mean he like entered the transfer portal, and then like once you're in the portal, you're kind of allowed to like, because schools can see you're in the portal, so they're allowed to reach out to you. So like I was like talking to him, I was like, hey dude, like, you know, Ithaca. And then he was like, yeah. So I mean, I'm just glad it all worked out, you know, especially because like I said, he's been like my best friend since like 3 years old, so it's nice.
How quickly do you think it'll be to acclimate him into that whole system? I mean, you said that his kind of playing style fits perfectly with the team. Will he like be an instant starter, 6-man? What's he gonna do?
I mean, it's kind of hard to say instantly, but I think, I mean, he'll be able to make his presence felt. He's a great player. I mean, he was 1,000-point scorer in high school. He's really good. So he, like I said, he could shoot, especially like he's a really good shooter, like especially like the pick and pop. We kind of ran that a lot in high school. We would always go to the pick and pop. But I mean, he works hard too, so I think he'll be able to work his way, and then we'll see. It's up to how much he pushes himself, you know.
Now, do you think with all these additions to the team, we talked to Skylar about this, we talked to Liam about this, you're losing a lot of scoring, but it might be a shortened season, but do you think this team could go even farther and do better than last season?
I mean, yeah, personally, I think we can. You know, we definitely, like you said, we're losing a lot of scorers, like our 2 leading scorers. But, I mean, I feel like the group that we have now, like we move the ball so well that like maybe one person scoring, but like I feel like the scoring could be a lot more evenly distributed. And I feel like we just play like really well as a team. We flow together, and I think, and especially defense too. Defensively, I think we're going to be a really good defensive team this year. But yeah, I mean, hoping that we do have a season, I think we could definitely go further. We just, I don't know. I think we'll be good.
We just talked about a lot of players on your team, your best friend Luca, of course. But who's a player next year you think could surprise everybody? It could even be yourself, someone that's kind of under the radar next year that not really someone's expecting to rise up, but they have a big year.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Let me see. I mean, one person that he's already been on the radar for a while, Cooper, obviously. He's one of our captains.
Okay.
He's knockdown shooter, but like I don't think people realize how good of a shooter he really is. Like Cooper in practice, like doesn't miss. Like even when we play pickup now, like, he doesn't miss. Like, you know, when he's shooting, like it's kind of frustrating seeing it go up because if you're not on his team, because you're like, oh, that's going in. But I mean, I don't know. Jack Stern had a good year. Liam, obviously, like I feel like everyone, you know, we kind of just there's no like one standout. You know, we all kind of stand out in our own ways. If that kind of makes sense. I feel like we're all going to do well together, especially.
The flow.
And listen, now you're becoming a junior, becoming an upperclassman. And I was watching a little bit of your tape in high school. I found it on YouTube somewhere. And dude, you were just a monster driving into the paint, unstoppable, flowing up in the air, left hand, right hand, spinning around like nonstop. And I could also see that you were a leader of that team, really, and of that high school group that broke records, did a lot of great things. So now, do you see yourself becoming more of a leader now as you're becoming an upperclassman, or are you waiting maybe until your senior year? Are you still focused on yourself, or are you looking forward to guiding these freshmen?
Yeah, I mean, I like to think of myself as a leader, obviously. Like, I like to do the right thing and stuff. But, yeah, I mean, this year especially, like I was talking with Coach, and he said one thing he wants me to do, especially, is not be more vocal. Like he said, like, you know, all the stuff, like talk it out more. You're not an underclassman anymore. But, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to just right now, obviously, like, especially with the freshmen, I want to make sure they all feel comfortable, you know? I don't want anyone to, like, because I know what it's like to be a freshman, like, coming in, you're scared to make a mistake. You don't want to mess up. And then, like, I know Liam said on his episode, I always mess with him, call him the freshman. That was all for fun. That was all for fun. But, no, yeah. I mean, I just want to make sure the guys, especially know that, like, they can come to me, ask any questions. You know, I just like to be a leader and do the right thing.
And speaking of the team next year, we mentioned you lose a lot of scoring. And obviously it's a new coach. Coach Burton, instead of Coach Mullins, he retired after a fantastic career. But how do you think the offense sort of adapts and adjusts, not only without Sebastian Riley and Jake, but with a new head coach and Coach Burton? How does that change?
Yeah, so like we said, we've obviously lost a lot of scoring, you know. I mean, it's good that like we still have Sky. He was our third leading scorer. I think he was third in the league. I'm pretty sure he was the third leading scorer. So that's a scorer right there. And then, I mean, I think one thing that we're really good at is just pushing the ball in transition. Like that's like the easiest way to score, I personally think, in basketball. You know, just get out and go. And like we get a lot of those, especially like we practice it all the time. Like pitch it ahead, shoot a three. Like quick shots, good shots, easy open shots. You can't complain about open threes. You know, I mean.
Yeah.
Just can't complain about that. But yeah, I mean, I feel like we're gonna just continue to play fast. I think we're gonna move the ball a lot. You know, I think it's gonna be a lot evenly distributed, like I've said before. You know, like because we were definitely. I mean, it's definitely gonna hurt to lose the top two scorers. Don't get me wrong; they were amazing scorers, obviously. But I think we'll be able to hold our own. You know, and just distribute it. And I think everyone's gonna have their fair share. You know, their nights, and then someone's gonna go off one night, another night. You know.
Philosophy-wise, do you think with the coaching change, is there going to be a lot that changes within the offense in terms of like play sets and things like that, or is there going to be a lot of similarities?
Yeah, I don't think there's gonna be any huge changes, honestly. You know, I think one thing that Coach Burt, he always emphasized, just play fast. I want you to move the ball, run it. So I think that's like gonna be our main style still. You know, we like to run a lot of ball screens. I think we're gonna stick to the ball screens. I think we're just gonna do a lot of like 5-out, you know, movement, pass, cut, screen away, just a lot of that. I think we'll just kind of know how to play because we all know how to play on our own, you know. Like we're all basketball players, so I think that's what we'll mainly do.
All right.
Now, kind of switching gears, Skylar in his interview said that you were going to get the aux for the locker room. Is that true?
I mean, I'm hoping, you know. I hope they don't give it to Sky because Sky loves country music a little too much.
What's wrong with country, man?
Everything's wrong with country.
I'm not a fan of country in the locker room. Don't get me wrong. There's only like one country song I like. It's like Heartless, and it's like not even a full country song. There's like Diplo's in it.
Yeah.
But
I think that's just like universally liked. But what are you going to be playing that Skylar won't be then?
Straight Pop Smoke all the time.
Oh, here we go.
yeah.
Pop Smoke, baby.
We got getting sturdy. We're getting sturdy in the locker room, man.
We're recording this on
we're
Wooback
going,
Wednesday too.
We got Wednesday, baby. Yeah, no, we last season especially we were huge fans of Pop Smoke.
Okay.
Huge fans. But
You got a favorite song on the new album?
the new album, ooh, I gotta think.
Or at least a couple, because that's a lot to narrow down to
I
just
mean,
one.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Can I like deluxe too?
You could talk deluxe.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. If we're talking deluxe, I'm gonna say Iced Out Audemars. It's
Okay.
a little under the radar one, but I love that one. I like to really like kind of just like hard ones, you know, like where
Yeah,
he's
he
really
just goes
going hard.
crazy.
Like that's like so like Gangstas, 44 Bulldog. There's so
Yeah.
many going. Got It On Me, of course. That's an amazing one. But yeah, I mean, I just love him in general. I got to see him in concert, so it was pretty
Really?
cool. He's
Unfortunate.
definitely I really like him.
That's awesome. You know, I gotta admit, I know none of those songs, and when Sky was mentioning the country songs, I don't think they knew what he was talking about. But I guess I'm in their boat now. So
No, don't get me wrong. That's when when I'm in his car and he's playing country, I'm like, dude, I don't know what I'm listening to right now.
Crazy.
balances out that way.
Yeah.
Speaking of pregame stuff, do you have any superstitions or anything that you do? Maybe a meal before the game, tie your shoes a certain way, a pair of underwear you like to wear, anything. Maybe there's some crazy stuff.
Oh,
So is there
man.
any superstitions?
I'm trying to think. What do I do before a game? I mean, I don't like to eat too close to game time. 'Cause,
Okay.
Like, I don't want, like, the main thing I hate, like, I get, like, an upset stomach. That's, like, it's like, no way. I can't have that. But, I'm trying. One thing, I mean, kind of weird, but I always make sure to use the bathroom before we go up. 'Cause
Smart.
I don't want to have to
Smart.
pee while I'm, like, that feeling of having to go to the bathroom while you're playing is the worst feeling. So I always make sure, like, I might go like 2 times, like while the girls are still like 30 seconds left in their game. Like I'll run downstairs, but I make sure that's one thing that I always have to do before we play.
Very
Who on the
smart.
team has the weirdest superstition? If you think like that's not up there, like is there anyone who's just like you look in the locker room and shake your head like, come on, man?
Weirdest superstition. I'm trying to think. I mean, one that stuck out to me was like I said I don't like to eat too soon. Like I don't know if Sky said he doesn't like to eat at all, like before games. Like
Okay.
because it's funny, we were playing at St. Lawrence last year. Yep. We were playing last year. And the place in St. Lawrence, like one of the best chicken parms we eat before the game, like one of my favorites. But Sky like ate it, and then like we're coming out of halftime, like he just like puked out of nowhere, like he threw up his food, So like him, like, and then we'll be out like after that, like we'd be out at games. He just wouldn't eat before the game. I'm like, dude, how are you not eating? Like his superstition is like the food. But other than that, I mean, I haven't seen anything that's really stuck out to me from anyone. I mean, everyone kind of just does their own thing. And like I mean, I feel like if someone thinks it's weird, they'll probably just keep it to themselves.
Yeah, I'll never forget Grace Cannon. What'd she say? Cheese puffs or something like that?
Oh,
Or she said he
no way. No way, no way.
She'll eat anything before the game.
Yeah.
Jaden, before you go into the next one, we've asked this question to every one of the guys.
Okay.
Skylar said sarcastic. Liam said kind. It's your turn. One word to describe George.
Ooh, one word. Well, that's tough. I'd say determined.
Okay.
I like to I'm
Strong
going
word.
serious. I'm going serious
Good
here. I like to set goals for myself, and I like to, push myself until I achieve that goal. And that's in everything, school, just like kind of in life. That's kind of how I feel like I am.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely not funny. I'm not funny. I'm not funny.
Would your
That's a
teammates
good
say
word.
that? Would your teammates say you're not funny either?
I mean, some of them might think I am. They might think I'm funny because I could do stupid things, like to embarrass myself sometimes. But other than that, I mean, I don't know. Hopefully they think I'm funny. But
You just talked about school. You're a physics major. I noticed.
yeah, I am.
Is that tough? Like, I mean, I know I wouldn't be able to do that.
No,
I don't think Jaden
no
or Connor
way.
would. But, like, how do you balance that? I mean, that's a tough major to go along with playing basketball.
Yeah, physics is tough. I mean, obviously it's not an easy subject, and you just got to be able to really balance your work. Like you got to talk to your professors too. That's the main thing I've realized. Like, because there's a lot of times where like I'll miss office hours because we'll have practice or something, but I'll be able to like go on the side and like they'll be able to help me out because it's not an easy subject first of all, and then like getting behind it's not easy in any subject. But yeah, right now I also added doing an exercise science major too, so I'm kind of like trying to double major. So I'm trying to balance both. But I mean, it just comes with like, and like that's the thing where I said like determined comes in. Like I just tell myself like I'm gonna get this done. It's a lot of late night stuff, that's for sure. Lots of not a lot of sleep.
Now, has it helped you out with basketball in any way? Has the physics stuff and stuff like has it helped you out with your game? I know it must be weird, like on the angle of the shot. I gotta make sure it's like there,
that's funny. One thing I always think about with this is in one of the physics classrooms, one of the former players, he was also a physics major, but he like graduated last year. But he, or no, 2 years ago. But he did like a little poster, and it was like, what is the optimal angle for a free throw? And like he compared it to like the underhand, like the granny style shot. And then like he compared it to like Ben Simmons style shot. And it was like, if you're Ben Simmons, like you should shoot granny style because it's more accurate. You get the proper trajectory. But I mean, in terms of that, I guess, I mean, obviously you want to get some arc. You don't want to shoot a line drive because the probability of that is just. But other than that, I mean, I try to keep physics only in the classroom. It's
okay.
It's enough in the classroom for me to try and think of outside.
Don't go quizzing your teammates all the time about your physics stuff.
Yeah, we don't go into detail, but they mess with me. They call me the nerd, the physics major nerd.
Nothing's wrong with that, though.
Nothing's wrong.
Nerd and the athlete.
Outside of basketball, what do you like to do for fun? Any hobbies, anything you like to do in your spare time that maybe take you away from the court, take you away from schoolwork that you like to do on your own?
I mean, when I'm home, like right now, like especially with quarantine, one thing I really love to do is I like to go fishing. I don't really tell anyone that, but I like to go fish by myself, just stay at ease. I usually take a book. I like to read a lot. So I like to take a book and read and fish. But like if I'm at school, like video games for sure. Call of Duty. I'm playing Call of Duty and listening to music. I'm not a huge like Netflix guy. I don't really like to like watch series and stuff, but I like to play Call of Duty a lot.
How many Warzone wins have you had over quarantine?
I think I just hit 20 the other day.
Okay.
I went through a big break though, like a little month and a half break because of work. I was like, I can't be playing all the time. I gotta go to bed early. Because once I start playing, I'm not going to sleep.
I feel you. I've been there. I really been there.
It's a grind, but yeah, it's just hit 20. So
you got to go to class that you try to work with. When you get those crates in, you trying to get in that game.
That loadout. Yeah. So I love to do the double. So like a little AR action and a sniper action. I used to use Growl, but they unfortunately nerfed it, so not as strong. So I'm a little M13 guy right now, though.
Okay.
M13 and
I
the
feel
APR
that.
sniper. That's my go-to.
Yeah, you can't go wrong. People that use that M13, you got to be accurate. But once you
Yeah,
get those
yeah, yeah.
shots down, you
It,
melt people.
it
So
starts to shred. It's a good gun.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, I love to snipe. So just as long as I got a sniper in my hand, I don't really care. As long as I got a sniper.
Now another question: Where's your dropping spot? Where's the go-to play?
Damn.
Okay, all right,
No,
that's
no
fair.
questions asked. Damn the sniper tower or the tower in airport.
Okay, that's fair.
Damn to there, go up there until you have to, and then jump out. That's the strategy every game.
Hey, if it works, it works.
Yeah, hey, if it ain't
so
broke,
you got it
don't
down
fix it,
pat.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Staying consistent, and maybe you'll become a sniper on the floor this year with your 3-point shot. We're hoping so. And now
Yep.
switching to the pro ranks, how closely have you been following the NBA's restart?
I mean, the bubble's awesome. It's so
Yeah.
cool. The idea of just like the bubble is sick, but I mean, it's awesome because especially now the playoffs are coming, like it's getting spicy. So it's nice to see all this trash talk and all this. But yeah, I mean, I'm following. I mean, my teammates they always like heckle me for this, but I'm a Thunder fan. They always say,
Hey, you got
a friend on the show.
Let's
Connor's
go,
a
baby.
fan as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up for some reason. I grew up just loving Gary Payton, like watching Sonics highlights, and then so like I always like the Sonics, like as a little kid, like 7 years old, and then that's when they made the switch to OKC. So from then I just stuck. I was Thunder fan, and I'm not gonna lie, they really impressed me this year. They really, I was caught off guard, that's for sure. I thought once we got rid of Russ and PG, I was ready for a rebuild, but totally proved me wrong.
No, we're gonna be posting this on Tuesday, but we already know the first round matchup is gonna be Houston OKC.
Yeah.
Like Thunder fan picking against Russ. Like my initial prediction is OKC 6. What about you?
I was actually gonna say the same, OKC 6. I don't think I think they just said Russ might be out for the first couple games. They said or something.
Yes, they did say that.
Yeah,
They said that,
quadsters
right?
or something
Okay.
like that.
So I mean, CP3 is gonna have vengeance on his mind. He's coming in. I feel like into that series, he's ready. So I mean, I think OKC 6, but it's definitely not gonna be an easy 6. That's for sure. That's gonna be a hard fought 6.
Yeah, the Rockets, that small ball philosophy. But you're a Thunder fan. Connor, we know how he feels about Kevin Durant. What are your feelings about Kevin Durant?
I'm gonna be totally honest. When Kevin Durant left, I cried. Like
Well, hey,
We all did. We all did.
I shed tears. I was so heartbroken. But I mean, I think he's the best scorer ever. Personally, I'm gonna go out on limbs. I think he could do it from every level. I know that's a big statement, but I still love him. He's still my favorite player currently right now. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was really upset when he left, and I can't believe he went to the Warriors. But all that aside, I think he's just an amazing basketball player.
yeah,
Now, the last episode we had, like, we kind of started thinking trade possibilities, and, like, out of nowhere, like, I started thinking of, like, what if Ben Simmons was on OKC and, like, a trade centered around, like, CP3 and Ben Simmons.
Okay.
And I've just been, like, kind of thinking about it since we recorded last Sunday.
Yeah.
Like, if I threw that at you, like, Ben Simmons and maybe a pick or two, and CP3, like, is that a good trade for both sides? I think that works, but, I mean, how about you?
I don't know.
thank you. I don't think it does.
I think for that Ben Simmons trade to work, we got to have more shooters on the team. Like
Baisley's looking nice in the bubble.
Yeah, he is. Baisley has been looking nice. He had his first 20-point game, I'm pretty sure, the other day.
I think he's had 3 straight 20s.
Has he?
Because I think,
Okay, I knew he had his first
cracked
one.
20 against Miami.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, yesterday I remember. That was a tight one. I don't know how we won that. Down by a lot of points.
That was painful because, like, I'm trying to get a game in the picks. We are very competitive about that. I'm the only one who picked the Heat. They're winning by, like, 20 heading into the fourth, and I'm in last place. And Mike Muscala,
baby. Knockdown
dagger
shooter.
in my heart.
Knockdown shooter.
And
But in terms of that Ben Simmons, though, I don't know. I just think CP3 brings so much, like, to the table right now. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's definitely getting old, but, like, right now, I think I'm going to go out on a limb right here. No one probably agrees with me, but I think CP3 should be an MVP candidate. I think he
should over Harden.
I think he should be one of the 3 finalists. MVP in my eyes, LeBron James. That's who I'm going to say. I think it should be LeBron, Giannis, and then I think CP3. I think that he should. Don't get me wrong, Harden's scoring absurd amount of points, but I just think that CP3 is just so valuable to that team, especially.
Now, a question for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just said your league MVP for the whole season, bubble with or without. But now, looking specifically at the bubble itself, so all the games that happened there, who is your bubble MVP?
All right, so I was actually talking about this yesterday. I don't know how to say it. Whatever team basically gets the playoffs, it's Dame or what's it called? Devin Booker for me.
Okay. Warren? No
TJ?
Warren's in there, but like he had that like 12-point game the other day.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong,
Okay.
he was insane when he had that 50-point game. He was going on a tear. Yeah. But Dame, like, the thing about the Blazers, like they really had to grind, and they just did what they had to do. But the Suns, like out of nowhere, Devin Booker's just carrying them. So like I don't know, it's gonna be interesting to see who gets in, and I think whoever gets in, I would take one or the other. But I'm interested to see what happens today because I'm pretty sure if the Grizzlies win, right, the Suns don't get it. I'm pretty sure that's how.
Yeah, all Portland and Memphis have to do is win, and they get a spot. So I mean. It'll be interesting, and I'm a Laker fan. Last episode, I was very worried. I mean, we've been playing bad basketball. The Nuggets' third team almost beat us, and we needed a buzzer beater by Kyle Kuzma. Do you think if Portland gets that 8 spot, are you worried about the Lakers that Portland could potentially knock them off in that first round?
I would be scared to play, though.
So would I.
Right now. Damian Lillard is, like, a different animal right now. And don't get me wrong, CJ McCollum, he's a bucket. Carmelo Anthony. Like, that's just – for a first-round matchup, that's not ideal. That is just not, I feel like, who you want to play. But I think if – one thing that would really help is if the Lakers still had Avery Bradley or even Rondo, That defensive point guard.
What did I say, guys?
My eyes are rolling.
This is an argument going long back a few episodes.
I just think someone that could just not even guard – you can't even guard Dame. Just contain Dame, Like 60 – that's insane. 61, like – I don't know. That's going to be a scary first round, though, if I'm the Lakers. I'm a little nervous, not going to lie.
Now, if you had to rank Dame, like, among NBA players, where would he be for you? Like, top 5, 7, 8, around there?
Oh, yeah, that's tough. I'd say my top 3 would definitely be, like, LeBron, obviously, he's in Giannis. And then I'd say, like, either Harden or, like, 8. I'd say Dame is, like, top 6.
Okay.
I'd put him maybe top 5. He might crack 5, but I think he's top 6 right now.
KD healthy, where is he?
KD healthy? Oh, I think he's at 2.
Okay.
Kyrie, where is he for you?
Oh, Kyrie.
Oh, Jaden hates
Kyrie. I'm a Jersey guy, so I got love for Kyrie, especially because from Jersey, so I got to show him love. But I don't know. I mean, he's obviously like crazy good with the handles and stuff. I'd say maybe top 10, but like
I don't know. I'm a big Kyrie hater. I'm a huge Kyrie hater.
Top 10's a push. I'd say top 15.
Yeah. Okay.
Top 15. I'd put him.
I don't take away anything from his individual talent. I know that, but what he does to a team, that's
I agree. I feel like everywhere he's gone, it's kind of just not.
While we're on the subject of ranking players, I got pissed off at Bleacher Report's list like a couple episodes ago of how they did Russ. This season, because I felt like this was probably one of his best seasons, maybe his second best outside the MVP season. Where would you put him this year?
I hate the Russ slander, just to go off that. I think he's so much more valuable than people make him out to be. But like this season, I mean point guards wise, I think he's right now. I think he's a top 3 point guard right now. I mean, that's kind of tough to say, but I think he's top 3. But overall, I mean, I'd put him above Kyrie for sure, in my opinion. I think he would be top 10. I think Russ is top 10.
Now, getting away finally, our final question with the NBA talk. Any bold predictions? Who's winning the NBA Finals this year, George?
Oh, this is tough. It's definitely coming out of the West, that's for sure. Ooh, I'm gonna go on a limb. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if this is a limb, but I'm gonna say the Lakers.
Okay.
It's not an easy call, especially like because when the Lakers played Clippers, like obviously in the first game, it was tough because no Lou Will, no Montrezl Harrell, barely any Pat Bev. But like, I think LeBron's being too unselfish right now. I think I think being the superstar he is, he can just take. I mean, playoff LeBron's different. I personally think.
Yes.
So
Oh, yeah.
I think it's going to be interesting to see, but depending on the production of LeBron and AD, I think the Lakers, but I don't know. The Clippers are. I think it's going to be Lakers Clippers, obviously, in the Western Conference Finals. But
Okay.
that's definitely going to 7, in my opinion.
Who do you see in the East?
The Celtics. I think
Really? That's a
know,
bold one
really?
right there.
I'm going Celtics. That team, I think, is just so underrated. And I mean, there's obviously a lot of Bucks. A lot of people are saying the Bucks. A lot of Raptors talk. I mean, I could see.
Aiden's a Raptors guy.
I'm saying Raptors.
Pause it,
Okay, you're
Raptors
saying
guy,
Raptors. Okay.
I'm saying Raptors. I'm very. Give me your reasoning behind Celtics. You said underrated. Why?
There's so. I mean, Kemba Walker,
Mm-hmm.
Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Jaylen Brown's one of my favorite players right now. I think he's so underrated on the court and like how good he is and skilled. But who else? Gordon Hayward, and then who's their fifth that they usually play?
Tice or Cantor?
Tice or
Yeah, Tice. Usually Tice. But I think even they could play a small ball lineup and they could put in Marcus Smart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like
kind of Houston-like.
yeah, a small ball like that. I mean, small ball is tough, but I don't know. I think the Celtics are going to be able to come out of the East. I think it's going to be. This might be bold for me to say too, but I think it's going to be Celtics Heat Eastern Conference Finals.
I said bold
Okay,
prediction.
you think
Heat win
Bam-
the East.
okay.
Like, they've been looking hot.
So by saying that, you think Bam's gonna lock up Giannis most likely?
Oh yeah, I think Bam could defend Giannis for sure.
Okay.
I think.
I think Giannis is on the biggest mission of his life. He just got a 1-game suspension. He's gonna come back ready to kill somebody.
Yeah,
He's gonna stab someone
I
in the
know.
court.
I'd be scared.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. I'd be scared to play him right now. But
Yeah.
I would. I'm gonna have to go on bold and say that I think the Celtics and the Heat are gonna play each other.
Wow. But we gotta
High
clip that
quality
one.
stuff.
Yeah,
We
we're
gotta clip
clipping
that for sure.
Flip that.
That's the
I could
preview.
either be totally right or totally wrong. So
If you're right, you're more than welcome to come
If
back
you're-
anytime.
Yeah.
You're right. We're gonna repost that moment and say George
All right.
or whatever.
Oh,
But
Let's go
we
viral,
promise.
baby. Let's go.
All right, we're gonna switch gears and we're gonna go into one of the most favorite topics or favorite segments in Dribbling Around. That is Jaden's jump ball. And
Okay.
if you've seen it before, this is it. This is the big trivia segment.
Yeah. I'm a
Where-
little nervous right now. I can't lie.
So I've done my research, and here at Dribbling Around, we always do our research. So we're looking at your 2 years at Ithaca College, some of the stuff from high school. So just be prepared and test the memory here.
Okay.
So this first segment's a little bit new. It's called This Year, Last Year. So I'm going to give you a stat, and you're going to say if you had more of that stat either this year or last year. So
Okay.
either your freshman year or your sophomore year.
Okay.
So points per game. Did you have more freshman year? Or your
Freshman
sophomore?
year.
That is correct. You have more
Okay.
points your
Okay.
freshman year. Total assists. So not assists per game. Total assists. Did you have more your sophomore year or your
Oh,
freshman year?
Assist. I want to say freshman year.
Incorrect. It's actually sophomore year. It was very close, though, 47 to 45. So it was very, very close. But
okay.
it was sophomore year. Rebounds per game
This year.
this year, 2.8 to 2.4. So you got that correct. Now, field goal percentage.
I'm pretty sure it was this year. This year I had a higher one.
This year, and you were also the team leader in field goal percentage. You're the 567 from the field.
56. Yeah.
Yes. Field goal attempted. So how many you shot?
I think freshman year I took more.
You shot more your freshman year, correct? So
Okay.
only one wrong on that one. So that was
Okay, all right.
pretty good. Good
All
job.
right.
So 4 to 5 there. So now in Crestkill High School,
Oh God.
a team led by you accumulated the most wins in team history. How many wins did you accumulate?
29 and 3.
29 and 3.
Yep.
Can you
All
can
right.
you run
Wow.
through that? Can you? And that was right in the front of your mind there. So
Yeah.
can you run through that? How was that? And like that's a school record. It's not
Yeah.
that's amazing. So can you
Yeah.
run through that? How it was that year?
That senior year, it was the most perfect basketball year I could have asked for. You know, we started out hot. We started out playing well. We were winning league games, and then we got to our county tournament. County tournament's pretty big here. Like in our county, we got a couple powerhouses. We got like I don't know if you guys ever heard of like Bergen Catholic High School,
Yeah.
Don Bosco. So we got some powerhouses. So the county tournament, like I said, it's a big deal, and we were seeded the 6th seed. And when they did the seedings, I think we were 18-0 at the time. So we were 18-0, and we kind of felt a little disrespected, not gonna lie. Like being the 6th seed, we were like, I think we're a little better than this. So we got to buy the first game, and then we played the next one against hometown. We played my one friend. I played AAU with him, and he was like their leading scorer. So like he was on a tear. So I was trying to guard him. It was tough, but we pulled that one out. And then the next game we played at Fairleigh Dickinson University, D1, like big school.
Mm-hmm.
So this was like the best win. I feel like this is one of the best moments in my basketball career. We were playing like a big city, Hackensack, and we were just not expected to win. Like this was the quarterfinals for the county. Like no one thought we were gonna win. We were just like, oh, their perfect season's coming to an end right here. So we stuck in with them all game, tough game. They had two D1 players on the team. One went to Wagner and the other went to FDU. So we played them, and we got to overtime, and they we're in overtime, and we're down by how much? We're down by 1, but we turn it over. So we had to foul them. So 1-on-1, kid hits the first one. And then I think there's 21 seconds. Like I really remember this. This one was like perfect. So they tip it up. Oh no, he shoots it. It bounces up, tips up. I jump up, grab the board, pass it to my teammate because I use my dribble to get out of a trap. He passes it back, and I'm coming up, and like we have a timeout, but there's like 10 seconds counting down left. So like my coach is like, no timeout, no timeout. So I call a ball screen. So my one teammate comes to set it. I reject the ball screen, drive. The corner helps. The corner guy helps because I had a drive. Luka wide open in the corner. So I kick it to Luka, knocks it down, hits it. We win the game. Dang. That was crazy. That was like the furthest because we're like a really small school for our county. Mm-hmm. So that's like the furthest one and made it in like 30 years. So, but yeah, and then after that, awesome. I mean, we were playing well. We dropped a couple. Like Luka got the flu one game, so we lost. Like he wasn't there. He was our leading scorer in high school, so we lost that. But yeah, and then we won. We were state champs, so we won our section for states. And then we lost at Rutgers in the end. We ended on a 1-point loss, so that was a tough one. But I mean, senior year, like I said, it couldn't have been any better. Couldn't have wished for a better year.
Give me goosebumps. I got
There
goosebumps on that. I was like, oh, get back to the corner.
That was one of the best feelings, when we won that. It was funny because we won obviously, but there's still 3 seconds left or 5 after like we hit the shot. It's like all my teammates are going crazy. I'm like, guys, like we still have to win. Like we're only up by 1 right now. Like they could score. But after that, it was a great feeling. But yeah, senior year was awesome.
Awesome. The final question. Ithaca College, going back to now your collegiate career. Yep. What school have you scored the most points against? And overall, your whole.
Okay, overall.
2 years.
It was Clarkson.
Clarkson is correct.
Yeah,
yes.
What a performance!
Oh, I think you're actually one of the best jump ball performers of the guests that we've had.
I think he's done the best of all the
100%
players we've had.
100%. So he came ready to go.
I remember a lot of stuff. I remember a lot of stuff.
So he's a physics major, smart kid. He knows. Smart kid.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna move on to our final questions here for you. How optimistic are you guys for this season? It's obviously it's going to be a very different year, and it's a whole different mindset coming into this season, right? You're usually playing all this time, and now you're going to have this whole break because of COVID. You already had it, and now you're going to even continue it even longer into the new year. How are you guys getting ready to rev yourself up into this season?
Yeah, so I mean, we're working like we're gonna have a normal season, we're working every day. Like no one's really taking any breaks off because I mean, it's all up in the air. No one knows what's coming. Like I said, no one knows what's gonna happen. But the only thing you could do is think you're gonna have a season, So we're getting on each other, texting each other, making sure we're working out, staying on top of our game. But I mean, we're just hoping for the best, staying optimistic. But other than that, I mean, just like I said, working hard and staying positive.
Now, if you do have a season, what are your personal expectations for how you'll do this year?
I mean, I definitely want to be more aggressive, especially like with the change to my shot. I feel like I've been able, like when I play pickup now and stuff, I've added a lot more like I'm getting a lot of mid-range looks and stuff like that. I mean, I'm a lot better shooter now, I feel. So I just want to, I mean, personally, goals I set, I want to be a better shooter, like I've said. Defensive-wise, I want to be the best defender I could be. I take pride in defense, so I really want to like be the best defender I can. And then just like I said before, I want to be more of a leader, like be vocal, be a leader on the court, be there for the guys,
Yeah, I was looking at your stats, like the steal numbers and the blocks numbers. Obviously, that might not be there, but the defense that you play is not really on that stat sheet.
Yeah.
It's just really in your way, in your face type of defense. And offensively, I was blown out my mind because if we see you dribble drive in college, like how you're doing in high school,
Yep.
you're looking like a completely different player.
Yeah.
That was just insane from what I was seeing from the high school stuff. So we're wishing you the best of luck because the ceiling is how you could
there's
reach
lots
it.
of room for improvement. So I'm
Michael Jordan, as he would say, the ceiling is the roof. Maybe.
I hate this kid so much.
We'll end on that note. Thanks a lot for coming on our podcast, George. Make sure to follow him on Instagram and Twitter. And hopefully we'll be able to watch you guys in the next season. Hopefully see that new and improved shot. So, guys, let's get back to the episode.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you for having me.
All right. Great interview with George again. Thanks so much for coming on the show. Hope you guys liked it. Now kind of switching gears into our last segment of this episode. The Sacramento Kings just recently cleared house. Vlade Divac, no longer GM. They also their assistant GM also stepped down after passing on Luka, drafting Marvin Bagley, the Harrison Barnes contract. This Kings, they were kind of like a bubble team, a trendy pick last season to hopefully make the playoffs after just missing out. They're kind of hovering right there. Do you have any potential candidates in mind? And what do you think the future of this team is like?
We're not huge. I'll be honest. We're not huge into like realizing general manager candidates, and hopefully the Kings pick the right person. And you had two former Kings players in there, Vlade Divac, Peja Stojakovic as the assistant GM. But this is really – and the Kings have a nice core with De'Aaron Fox. And, Jaden, you said maybe the Ben Simmons thing. And I don't know if De'Aaron Fox would go to Philly. I don't know. That's a little far-fetched. But at the same time, you would think, oh, yeah – the Kings can go somewhere with this roster. They have Luke Walton, who's coached some young guys. He didn't really work out with the Lakers, but now he's with Sacramento. Buddy Hield, Bogdanovich, yeah. But the problem is, look at the Western Conference and look at that division next year, right? You still have LeBron and AD. LeBron still LeBron for a few more years, and who knows what other free agents the Lakers might sign. The Clippers are going to be good for years to come. Look at what Phoenix just did in the bubble, how good they're going to be. And you got Golden State getting the Splash Brothers back next year in that division. So if you're going to go to the Sacramento Kings, yes, you have some upside, but there's some work to do. There's some work to do because the Western Conference is so damn competitive, and you can't tell me anything differently.
It's going to be a long road for the Kings. I really don't know where they go from here. You just look at that organization and, not a lot of people really want to go to Sacramento. It's not a place that a lot of people really want to go and play ball, so they're going to really have to do it from the ground up. I've said this about a couple other organizations that just a lot of people, the free agency is just not an option for them because no one wants to go to Sacramento. I know now the town is booming, the downtown area, all stuff like that. Maybe that helps, but they're really going to have to work through the draft. And obviously the lottery needs to help them here a little bit. I don't know how much it will, given how relatively decent the record was. So they're in a really tough spot. They're in that mediocre ground where you can't really, they're in that middle ground where you can't really get helped a lot by the draft, but at the same time, not a lot of people want to come there in free agency. So it's going to be a tough road. They do have a nice young core. So that's what, as you mentioned, one thing that's really going to help them. And hopefully that young core pans out for them.
The thing about that young core is how patient will they be? Because I agree, Jaden, they need to play the long game. Because you're never going to be the Sacramento Kings and do better than the Lakers, the Clippers, the Warriors, and probably even the Suns after we just saw what they did in the regular season, nonetheless the playoffs. So I think, not saying tank or trade everyone, but you're not going to really compete with that division as your current roster construction. You really need to kind of just hope that De'Aaron Fox doesn't get unhappy after a couple losing seasons and say, hey, I want out. Buddy Hield, Marvin Bagley. It's like you have to, even then, maybe you blow it up just because this isn't your time. And that's not a knock on Fox, Bagley, Hield, or anybody on that team. It's just That's the way the
Yeah,
lottery
they
balls fell
can
this time.
100%. They can all go to different places and be stars in other areas. 100%. Like they're individually on their own. They're all great and they played great together as well. It's just as you mentioned, especially in the West for them, not even going to be close to that time. It's going to be really, really tough.
I think you try and build around De'Aaron Fox and maybe Marvin Bagley. Again, Bagley was a number 2 pick, and what is he, like 21 years old, 22?
Bagley's still a good foundational piece. He just needs to
I think
stay healthy and B, keep producing.
Yes, I think he is, and I think if you keep De'Aaron Fox, you try and build around, and like you said, you hope he doesn't become unhappy. So you try and build around them and draft well.
Yeah, but you got to get lucky with these ping pong balls, man.
I know.
It's tough, especially it's tough for them, but they have a chance. Yeah, like
that's obvious. But again, this team wasn't terrible this year. Some people were talking about them before they lost Marvin Bagley sneaking into the playoffs. They got an invite to the bubble for a reason because they won some games. So they can compete. But who's the next piece that they're going to get? And it's likely going to be from the draft because, Jaden, you said it. Maybe from some sort of trade, but who the hell in free agency is going to go to Sacramento?
Yeah, it's really tough. I don't know anybody. And can you think of someone in recent history that said, "Hey, I'm going to Sacramento"? You know,
Kermit Goldstein, I think, would go to Sacramento.
Oh, of course, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
Greatest of all time.
The Knicks wouldn't offer him a contract, and so.
If the
My
Knicks
best
didn't offer
guess.
him, he'd just
Once
hey,
again,
hey, do you have a
we've-
spot in your G League team? He's not going to Sacramento. He's going to Westchester.
Westchester Knicks, baby.
Once again, we got to cross off another city on our list of places we can't go anymore. Can't go to Sacramento. Can't go to Memphis.
Charlotte.
I can't go to Charlotte. Can't go to a lot of places right now. So.
Where can we go?
Definitely not Philadelphia. We can. I think we're all welcome here in New York.
We're all welcome in Milwaukee.
Yes,
I don't think you're
100%.
welcome in Brooklyn. I don't think
Portland,
you're
Maine.
welcome in Brooklyn.
If someone wants to pull up in Brooklyn, I'm ready for a fight. Let's go. I'm ready.
Jaden's
You
right-
want it?
Jaden's right there.
You know
He's in
this city
Queens.
isn't. You know this city isn't a Brooklyn town. Ever since they moved from Jersey to Brooklyn, doesn't matter. You see people in gentrified Brooklyn wearing their Nets hats, but that's all it is. You got a 5-block radius ready to be Brooklyn Nets fans, but that's it. You're lucky if you get that for those 5 blocks. Everything. This is a Knicks town. I don't care what everybody says. This is a Knicks town.
Well, maybe I
No
think
matter how bad it gets, it will forever be a Knicks town.
Coach Longstaff, I'm sure, will welcome us to Milwaukee or
Of
something
course.
like that.
Yeah.
Or also,
Yeah.
I'm still hoping the Timberwolves move to Seattle. Y'all, we're going to take a
Ooh,
trip.
yeah. Dude.
There's going to be eventually, in a few years, a dribbling around experience where we all go and we're just going to share what we do and whatever. And
Do we know
Spring
anybody in
break
Seattle?
2021. We'll just travel the country like
Max Tanzer. He's
Oh,
not
we
a
do know
basketball
somebody.
guy,
We
but
got-
take us to
We
Seattle.
got someone in Seattle. All right.
Take us to Seattle.
We're good
All
in
right.
Chicago. We're good in Seattle. We're good, definitely good in LA. We have huge LA fans over there. We're a big market show. We love
Big
the
market.
big
Hey,
market.
before you know it, we're going to be not just be a U.S. brand show. We're going to be traveling to China,
Toronto.
like
Okay.
Australia,
I mean, Toronto's right up
Toronto.
there.
Toronto, man. Dribbling around. Multicultural show, baby. We're multicultural, but enough with that talk. I guess that's enough for today's show.
That's it, man. Hey, if you like what you saw, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. Be sure to check out 1306 Sports. Check out Dribbling Around on Instagram and all the stuff that you get social media. Hey, we had a great time here, and get ready for some more playoff basketball, bro. We're here.
Quick
We're
turnaround.
finally here. Think about it. We went through this whole quarantine bubble. Went through this whole thing, isolation, everything. And now we're at the NBA playoffs. Who would have thought? I think we would have been saying this a couple months ago, but now we're here. So get ready for that episode coming up. 1306 Sports, Dribbling Around. Love you guys. See you.